Here we go, Steelers Nation. Your Pittsburgh Steelers are working hard this offseason to build a stronger, more competitive team heading into the 2025 season. After another year filled with ups and downs, the organization knows that changes need to be made if they want to compete for a championship. And trust me, some major moves could be coming soon. From potential big-name trades to roster cuts, we've got a lot to break down today. But before we dive into all of the latest rumors and reports, do me a favor. Hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss any Steelers news. All right, now let's get into it. One of the biggest stories floating around the NFL right now is whether San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel could be on the move this offseason. And guess what? The Pittsburgh Steelers could be one of the teams most interested in landing the dynamic playmaker. But before we get into why this move makes sense, let's take a step back and ask why the 49ers would even consider trading Samuel in the first place. The San Francisco 49ers are in a bit of a tricky situation when it comes to their salary cap. Their young quarterback, Brock Purdy, has outperformed expectations and will soon be eligible for a contract extension. When that time comes, the 49ers will have to pay up if they want to keep him as their long-term starter. On top of that, San Francisco already has Brandon Ayuk, another star receiver who will be due for a big payday soon. With two high-profile receivers demanding major contracts, the 49ers may be forced to make a difficult decision. Keep Ayuk and move on from Deebo Samuel. Deebo is currently playing under a 3-year, $71 million contract that he signed in 2022. His cap hit in 2025 is set to be $15 million. And while that's not outrageous for a player of his caliber, the 49ers might decide that money is better spent elsewhere. Now let's talk about why the Steelers should seriously consider making a move for Deebo Samuel. 1. Pittsburgh needs help at wide receiver. Right now, George Pickens is the Steelers' only true weapon at wide receiver. While he has superstar potential, he needs help. The Steelers tried to upgrade their receiving core last season by bringing in Mike Williams. But that move didn't work out. Deontay Johnson was inconsistent and struggled with injuries. If Pittsburgh wants to take their offense to the next level, adding a versatile weapon like Deebo Samuel could be the key. Deebo brings versatility and physicality. Deebo isn't just a wide receiver, he's a Swiss Army knife. He can line up outside, in the slot, and even in the backfield as a runner. His physical style of play would fit perfectly in Pittsburgh's tough, gritty system. Steelers fans, imagine an offense with George Pickens stretching the field and Deebo Samuel making plays underneath and in the run game. That would immediately give the Steelers one of the most dangerous receiving duos in the NFL. 3. The Steelers can afford it right now. The Steelers are projected to have around $52 million in cap space heading into the offseason. If the 49ers are willing to move Deebo after June 1st, they could save $17 million over the next 2 seasons. That means the trade would be financially realistic for both sides. The real question is, what would it take to land Deebo? Would a second-round pick be enough? Would the Steelers have to package a player and a pick? That remains to be seen. But if the price is reasonable, Pittsburgh should absolutely pull the trigger. While Pittsburgh is looking to add talent, they may also be cutting ties with some veterans. According to Tony Pauline of Sportskeeda, the Steelers are expected to release veteran linebacker Preston Smith this offseason. Smith was acquired from the Green Bay Packers in the middle of last season, but his impact was minimal. In 8 games with the Steelers, he recorded 13 tackles, 2 sacks, 3 tackles for loss, 1 fumble recovery. While those numbers aren't terrible, they also aren't game-changing. First, Smith's contract is too expensive. He signed a 4-year, $52 million deal with Green Bay in 2022, and his cap hit for the next 2 years is around $27.5 million. That's a huge number for a player who isn't a true difference maker. Second, the Steelers are looking to get younger on defense. Team President Art Rooney II recently emphasized the importance of improving the team's run defense. Smith is more of a pass rusher, which means he doesn't fit what Pittsburgh wants to build moving forward. Finally, cutting Smith frees up money. The Steelers will need extra cap space if they want to make big moves like trading for Deebo Samuel or signing other key free agents. With T.J. Watt and Alex Highsmith still anchoring the pass rush, this move makes a lot of sense. Expect Pittsburgh to target a younger, more athletic linebacker in free agency or the draft. Steelers fans, we all saw how the 2024 season ended. A 5-game losing streak, another early playoff exit, and that same old feeling of frustration. It's clear that changes need to be made if we want to compete with the best teams in the AFC. But here's the problem. Is ownership willing to make those changes? A recent report has put the Steelers' approach to their coaching staff under the microscope. NFL insider Aditi Kinkhabwala recently shared some concerning information on 93.7 The Fan. The Steelers simply don't invest enough in their coaching staff compared to other teams. She pointed out an alarming fact. When Todd Haley left the Steelers to become the Cleveland Browns offensive coordinator, he got a significant pay increase. Think about that for a second. The Browns, coming off an 0-16 season, were willing to pay him more than Pittsburgh. If that doesn't raise some eyebrows, I don't know what will. This isn't just about one coach, though. The Steelers have a history of operating on a budget when it comes to their coaching staff. Pittsburgh has one of the smallest coaching staffs in the league. Other teams have passing game coordinators, run game coordinators, and specialized assistant coaches. The Steelers, not so much. Defensive coordinator Terrell Austin is one of the lowest-paid coordinators in the entire NFL, reportedly making less than $1 million per year. The team's offensive coordinator, Arthur Smith, is rumored to be making around $2 million. Decent, but not exactly top-tier money for a high-level coaching job. So what does this tell us? The Steelers might not be investing in their coaching staff the way other top franchises do. And in a league as competitive as the NFL, every detail matters. Now let's talk about the man at the top. Mike Tomlin. Look, Tomlin is one of the longest-tenured coaches in the NFL. He's respected across the league and for good reason. But one area where he's struggled? Building a strong coaching tree. Most great head coaches leave behind a legacy of assistants who go on to become great coaches themselves. Bill Belichick, Andy Reid, Sean McVay, all of them have coaching trees filled with guys who have turned into elite NFL coaches. Tomlin? Not so much. A big reason for that is his hiring decisions. The most glaring example? Matt Canada. Canada was hired as offensive coordinator in 2021, and we all saw how that turned out. The offense was stale, predictable, and flat-out bad. Tomlin stuck with him for far too long, and by the time he was finally fired in 2023, the damage had already been done. If the Steelers had a larger, more experienced coaching staff, could this have been avoided? Possibly. It's not just the coaching staff that's under scrutiny. Reports have also suggested that the Steelers haven't invested much into upgrading their facilities compared to other teams. Think about it. Other teams around the league are constantly modernizing their locker rooms, training centers, and player recovery facilities. The Steelers, on the other hand, have been slow to make those kinds of improvements. Is this a case of the team sticking to tradition, or is ownership simply unwilling to spend the money? Here's the bottom line. The NFL is changing, and the teams that adapt are the ones that win. Look at the top teams in the league, the Chiefs, the 49ers, the Eagles. They all invest heavily in their coaching staffs and ensure that their players have top-tier resources. The Steelers have one of the richest histories in the NFL. But if they want to get back to the Super Bowl, they need to start making bigger moves, both on the field and behind the scenes. So, Steelers Nation, I want to hear from you. Should the Steelers trade for Deebo Samuel? Would you be willing to give up a second-round pick or even a player to land him? Do you agree with cutting Preston Smith? Would you rather see Pittsburgh keep him for depth, or do you think they should invest in younger talent? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's get a conversation going. And of course, if you enjoyed this breakdown, hit that like button and subscribe for more Steelers news, rumors, and updates. That's it for today. Here we go, Steelers. See you next time.